Welcome back to All Things EVM. My name is Aaron, and on this channel we talk about making money in DeFi. And today, guys, I'd like to get into Peer.xyz. It is a place to LP your cash, USDC on chain. I think it's one of the best opportunities to make cash on your cash right now inside of DeFi, so let's jump on into it. All right, so this is going to be a high-level overview of Peer.xyz. So what Peer is a peer-to-peer transfer of USDC from the base chain to those who want to off-ramp, or conversely, you can on-ramp from something like Venmo to Peer using a peer-to-peer app. Peer works with Venmo, PayPal, Revolut if you're outside the United States, and many others that we can get into here shortly. But what I'd like to do is just open the app here and get into the major functionality. Again, this is a high-level overview. I will have some more details in future videos, and we'll get into specifics of that later in this video. But primarily, we're here to buy and sell. And why would you want to buy and sell crypto using Venmo or Cash App? Well, there's a lot of reasons. First and foremost, you might have a Venmo balance and you want to convert that some of that into crypto. You can certainly do that with like PYUSD, but there's a lot of restrictions that you find with PYUSD and PayPal and these sorts of fiat, traditional finance applications that can be tedious. And this is just a private peer-to-peer way to get funds on chain, USDC on the base chain specifically. Or you can also provide liquidity to this. And this is my favorite functionality, providing liquidity to make a spread or a percentage on that liquidity as you're off-ramping. And then if you extrapolate that even further, if you want to round trip this, you could provide liquidity, get it onto Venmo, transfer it to your bank, get it back into Coinbase, and round trip it back into Peer without any fees along that trail to try to make a yield on your USDC, which is fantastic. And really, that's a best practice, especially in a bear market like we are currently in. And I do think we're going to be in this for the next 2 to 3 months at least through October. And so hopping into Peer right now and making cash on cash is the way to go, in my opinion. All right, so the first interaction I'd like to do is to look at what buying on Peer looks like, just to get some of the functionality out of the way here. So we can certainly buy with USDC, but there's also euros, Great British pounds, and many other currencies available here. And then obviously we've got Venmo, Cash App, like I've already talked about, but we've got Revolut, Chime, Wise, Zelle, and PayPal. PayPal is open to you if you do enough of transacting through this, and there's kind of a level up experience that you can get to in order to open up PayPal as an option. But we're going to start with Venmo today, and we're just going to say I want to buy $200 worth of USDC on chain, and typing that in brings up the best spreads for us. So right now on Venmo, the best spread for $200 is you're going to pay about $6, which isn't honestly that terrible in comparison to something like MoonPay. You're going to pay, upwards of 3 to 4% on MoonPay, especially with like a debit card on something maybe in the Rabby wallet as well. If you're looking for a very quick way to get on chain, to get assets on chain, to start playing in DeFi, guys, this is a great on-ramp. And if you want to move forward with this transaction, you have to install the Peer Auth app, and this is how it authorizes that you've paid on Venmo. And if you'd like to do that, feel free to do that. But what I'd like to talk about most in this video is the LP side of things. So I'm going to go to deposits. And you can see I've already got a deposit here of $128. I had as much as $21.42 originally, and I set that up by managing funds. So you connect any wallet you'd like to. You have the option, let me log out here and just show you the different options. You've got Rabby wallet. You can sign up with an email and get a Privy wallet assigned to you. You can get Google or Twitter signups here, but what I'd like to do is use either Phantom or Rabby. I already had Rabby up here, so I'm just gonna hit on Rabby here and sign in. So when you first add funds, it's going to ask you to set a spread, and the best way to do that, guys, is to look at the what's up next in this header here. It's the liquidity tab. So what is a spread? A spread is the amount difference from $1 that you're going to be charging for your liquidity, and sometimes that can even be less than $1 if you want to off ramp quickly. Plenty of people are doing this on Zelle specifically, guys. If these are some pretty significant whales adding liquidity to this just to off ramp quickly, and Zelle being a bank specific connection. If you want to get it straight in your bank account and your bank account does give you the option to use Zelle, it will let you do that quickly. That is a great way to round trip if you're going to have access to Zelle. But what I like to do, guys, is actually look at the platform that I'm going to add liquidity to, and that's going to be Venmo, Cash App, specifically in the States. So you can certainly add it to PayPal as well, but I recommend you start with Venmo and Cash App as they are the most popular peer-to-peer apps in the United States. So let's take a look at Venmo. And let's look at some of the spreads here. So the majority of the liquidity is going to be this mark at about 5,700. So somebody is charging $1.0199 dollars per dollar of liquidity. To be competitive with that, you're going to want to put it slightly under or right at the same price as this individual, and see if you can't get some of your liquidity picked up by the system. So how I'm going to do that is go back to the deposits tab, get into my deposit, and hit manage funds. And this is where you add funds to your account on the peer application. So I don't have any USDC at the moment in my account right now, so I'm not going to add it, but I am going to show you where to change your spreads once you have them entered. And so right here at the 2% mark on my Cash App, and Venmo is where I currently have things. And so what I'm going to do is type in 1.89 to be slightly underneath them and just be more competitive and try to get some of my LP picked up sooner and start making money inside of Peer. So I'm going to click on this confirm, hit sign in my wallet, and then I'm going to refresh here to see that update change here. So if you wanted to add a platform, you can do that once you have a deposit created. As you can see, I've got my Cash App and my Venmo already set up here, but let's see if we can add another platform, say something like Wise. Wise is a new up-and-coming peer-to-peer application. You're finding more international use with this one, and it might be good to get involved, as I'm going to show you later in the liquidity tab, that is absolutely growing in size. So let's try to add Wise here. So in order to do this, you want to create a Wise account if you don't have one already. Get your alias tag there, and then come back to Peer and type that in without the @ sign at the front, and then set that up. But let me show you why you might want to add this along with that of both Cash App and Venmo. This is the liquidity that has been used up in the system, guys. And right now, the top are Revolut, Wise, Venmo, and Cash App. These are the ones that are getting hit the most with intents and are completing to get you yield on your USDC. All right, so how much am I putting through the system on a regular basis? Well, this is one of a couple wallets that I'm using, but this one in particular has already put in 2.2K today, just in the last couple of hours. I loaded it up this morning, and you can see all of the orders here. Peer does a great job of rolling out all of the metrics that you need to keep track of your yield here. You can even export orders as a CSV to do a little spreadsheet magic if you want to keep track of that later, which I highly suggest you do. But what you're going to see here is expired as well as completed, and you can actually drill down into this as well just by hitting completed. And you can see that we've been charging 2% or 1.02 spread on the last 3 orders here, and that has been the majority of what's gone through in the last couple of hours. And so what I've made here is 2% on that $2,000 already today. So we've already taken in $40 on just $2,000 worth of liquidity in about 24 hours. All right, so we've made $40 worth of fees today, and let's divide that by 2,000 to put in how much LP we have put into the system. That's 2% for the day, guys. Extrapolate that out over a monthly basis. You're looking well over that 15 to 20% mark on a monthly basis. That is absolutely crazy to hear of in any other place you can LP currently. There's definitely places, and you can see them on this channel, guys, of some great places to LP. But right now, on smaller LPs especially, I highly recommend you check out Peer because it's a great place to make, between 0.5 and 2% daily, especially as you see your liquidity go out of the system. It might take a couple days to get back. So let's just say that we got 2% today, and it's going to take about 2 to 3 days to get it back into USDC on chain by going to Venmo, going to a bank account, and then back to something like Coinbase. Well, it could take up to 4 days to get our liquidity back in our wallets. So we're going to think about that in about 0.5% per day. But obviously over 30 days, guys, that's 15% monthly, which is absolutely insane, especially on USDC LPs. So if you like this video, guys, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content just like this. Now, I will say that I'm going to put some more tips and tricks out there for Peer, but a lot of them are going to be behind the paywall in my community for the next couple months, guys, as I want to honor the people in my community at the yieldfarmingcoop.com. You can check out the link in the description below to get onto that. It's a $30 per month subscription at the base level. And if you'd like to see these tips and tricks, definitely check that out. But I'm only going to gatekeep this as long as I don't have a referral link, and referral links are definitely coming for Peer, guys. Soon I'll be dropping more content with a referral link so that you guys can jump into this and get onboarded with up to 15% or more per month in USDC LPs. Have a great day. God bless.